Indexing is the process of converting a standard RGB image into a user-defined limited color palette. This lizard image still needs some improvement before we convert it to an index print. To make some simple enhancements, click on the yellow EasyArt button, Improve Image RGB. This will add some more color, some sharpness, and adjust the contrast. Because this image is on 2 layers, we're being asked if we want to flatten, which of course we don't. So just click Don't Flatten to continue. Now comparing the 2 images side by side, you can see the new image is much brighter and the colors are much stronger. This will give us better separations. Although this image has a transparent background, indexing requires that your image be on a solid background. In this case, I'm going to make the background black. So I'll just select the background layer and fill it with black. Next, we'll flatten the image, so we only have 1 layer. This image was scanned at 400 dpi, so the first thing we have to do is drop the resolution. In this case, we're going to drop the resolution down to 150 dpi, which is a recommended resolution for doing index separations. The size of the square dot that we finally print with is determined by the resolution of the image. In this case, a 150 dpi will give us a pretty good sized dot. You can go as high as 200 dpi, which will give you a much smaller square dot and requires more accurate printing, but will give you much smoother graduated tones. Adjust the zoom so that you can see all of the colors in the image, then scroll down the EasyArt Actions list and click on the blue button. Step 1. Select Index Colors. You're going to start selecting the various colors in the image. For the first color, select a nice bright yellow from the area beneath the lizard's chin. You will want to select midtones of each different color. Just a guess at this stage. Now you're prompted to select the second color. This time select a nice orange. Then click OK to continue. Now you'll be prompted to select the third color. This time select an area of pink from the mouth. Once again, a midtone. Select OK to continue. Now for the fourth color, select the brown from the eyeball of the lizard. What you're trying to do with this selection process is select an average range of colors. You've got to remember, each color that you're selecting out, you will have to screen print. Now we selected a purple. For color number 6, we'll select a khaki off the lizard's back. Another midtone, and then click OK to continue. And finally, for the 7th color, we'll select a nice bright green from the tree. This will give us a very good average range of colors. Now click OK to continue. This time when we're prompted to select color number 8, we'll click Stop. Now if we have a look at the color palette that we've just created, these are the colors that we're going to screen print the lizard index image with. You don't need to select a black, it is selected automatically. Now on to step 2, convert image to index. In the index color window that opens up next, just click OK, don't change any settings. It will automatically be converted to the square dot index format and then automatically converted back to an RGB image. If we have a quick look in the channels list, you can see that it is still an RGB image, but it retains the square dot format of the index image. RGB is easier to work with, and if we zoom into the image, you can see that it still retained the square dot format of the indexing image. Now we have to write down the color values of the 7 colors that we selected out of the image. These are the colors we're going to screen print. Now you do that by opening up the info window and then just drag your mouse pointer over each color and you'll see that color's RGB value appear in the info window. Now you need to write down each of those RGB values. You will need them later during the separation process. Close down the original image and we'll just continue to work with this new indexed image. This is also a good time to save your work. Now to move on to step 3, separate indexed image. Now the first thing you need to do is confirm that the input resolution and the output resolution are the same. If they're not, change them. In this case they are. And now you're going to be asked to start selecting your index colors. Select color 1, just click on the first color in your color bar, in this case the yellow. In the new spot channel window that opens, type in yellow, then click on the small grey box and type in the RGB values that you wrote down previously from the info palette. Now you're going to have to do this for each color that you selected from the index image. Next we'll select the orange, type in orange. Once again type in the RGB values that you wrote down earlier. These RGB values that you're typing in are giving you a visual reference of what the image is going to look like when you print that particular colored ink. If you don't get these values right, then the image that displays on your monitor will not be very accurate. So you will mix your ink colors to match these RGB values. Later we'll show you how to convert those colors into Pantone colors to give you a more accurate visual representation. That is, of course, if your monitor matches your Pantone color book. Now select the purple, type in purple, generally the kind of images you will want to index are what we would call artist renderings. That is, paintings and graphic images created by hand. Photographs, on the other hand, are better separated using the simulated process method. Indexing can produce a posterized effect in some images and usually does require you printing more colors to get an accurate result. Finally, we're going to select the last color, which is the light green. Click OK to continue. Enter in those RGB values and press OK. This time, when we're asked to select color 8, we'll click Stop. Before continuing, I'll just reset the buttons. In the channels list, you can see that EasyArt has automatically created a separate channel for each color that you selected out of the image. This is why it is important to enter in the correct RGB value as before, because this gives you the visual representation so you can see what your image looks like printed with that colored ink. To get an accurate view of the square dot image, you really need to zoom in and view the image at around 100 or 200%. And although it is an RGB image, you can see it is still made up of the square dots. The black channel has a solid background, so I'm just going to quickly remove that background area with the magic wand tool. I'll just make a quick selection, then fill that selection with 100% white. This is the same as deleting that area from the separation. And deselect, and you can see the area has now been removed. So with all those colors turned on, this is what the image would look like, in this case printed on a white shirt. You can change the color of the shirt if you wish. Now you can see we still have the color bar at the top of the screen. That area was added during the course of the separation. Now to quickly remove the additional area, I'll just use the crop tool, make a selection and crop the image back down to its original size. To make mixing the inks easier, we'll change the channel colors to a Pantone match. Double click the channel, open up the color picker window and click Custom. From the book drop down list, select Pantone Solid Coated and you'll automatically be given the closest Pantone match. You can go through each individual channel in your separations and do the same thing, and Photoshop will automatically give you the nearest Pantone match. Now of course these colors are only going to be accurate if the colors you're seeing on the screen which you selected earlier match your Pantone book. So keep in mind you may have to change the actual ink color even from the Pantone match while you're setting up the machine to get a more accurate result.